Hello and welcome to the British Dapper, and today we're doing a review of the Thomas Bird Benson Wholecut shoes. So today we're doing an unveil and a review of a pair of shoes by a company called Thomas Bird. They've been registered in Northampton for a number of years now as their head office, and they have their shoes manufactured in Italy. So today's review, I'm just going to show you how easy it was to navigate their website and order the shoes, and also the unveil or the unboxing of those shoes on arrival, and my genuine responses to those shoes, along with a little bit more of a detailed review of the shoes themselves and the construction and the way that they are manufactured, and some ideas about how you might dress those shoes up. So Thomas Bird makes a whole range of different shoes, influenced predominantly by Italian design. They are really good quality shoes for the price that they're asking. They also do boots as well. They've been around for a number of years now, and they've been on my radar for a number of years, and I've noticed that other influencers and reviewers have done reviews of their different types of shoes, and so I approached them asking if it might be possible to do a review of a pair of their shoes. I would say up front that I have no allegiance to them in any sense of the word, other than they produced the shoes for me to review, and it was an open understanding that my review would be totally in my control. I think they basically trusted the quality of their product to speak for themselves, and so we're in this situation where we can do an honest review of their shoes and provide feedback not only to you, the viewer, but also potentially to the company as well. So first of all, let's look at the ordering process and how easy it was to navigate around their site. So we're now going on to the Thomas Bird website, and as you can see, it's quite clearly identified here, their official store. And first of all, I've got to say, looking at the overall site, it's very easily navigated, and it breaks it down into different areas: boots, shoes, leather bags, and it also gives you a little bit more information. There's some information there about people's comments, about previous purchases, and it breaks it down into different styles. For example, Chelsea boots, whole cut shoes, loafers, Oxfords, Monk's shoes, wingtips. It breaks it down into different sorts of shoes, including evening shoes, patinaed shoes, and it also goes through the quality of their workmanship that goes into their shoes. Now, whilst they're a UK based company, they have their shoes manufactured and created in Italy, and they use Italian craftsmanship for making those shoes, and they clearly demonstrate in their website that they're using quality grain calf leather, and they're using suede, fine suede, soft calf leather linings and stitched soles. Now, what I have noticed is that most of those stitched sole styles is not Goodyear welted, but Blake stitched instead, which is still a very good quality sole. It just makes it more difficult to replace the sole once it wears out. So maybe need to consider that in factoring in whether to buy this type of shoe or not. But I would say for the price range of around about £260, £280, it's not unusual to spend that amount of money on a Blake stitched shoe. So it's all relative, But I would say that the website does clearly give you a lot of information about the background of Thomas Bird and about not only the actual shoe themselves, but also about the care of the shoes, etc. So if we choose a shoe, now I'm actually going to choose Wholecut shoes. Now the reason why I'm choosing that for this evaluation is that Wholecut shoes are where the shoe is created from one piece of leather, and I'll be honest with you, Wholecut shoes are the most difficult shoes to create, and any blemishes or imperfections are easily spotted. As you can see here, the Wholecut Oxford Brown is the one that I'm going to go for, and you can see from here that the overall shoe, the aesthetic of the shoe, certainly the most formal of shoes, but I've gone for a dark brown on this occasion because I think it would go with most suits and also potentially cover into a more casual setting as well. So the shoe is clearly identified on the actual website. It shows you the upper line of the shoe as well as the sole of the shoe, including not an unusual sort of sight where we've got this rubber section in the midsole area where you're going to get a lot of wear, tread wear, and also in the heel where that was going to get quite a lot of wear and tear. So it's quite easy to get these areas maybe replaced if needed. So the overall shoe, I think, is not a bad shoe to go for. The price on this occasion is around about, here we go, £260. And you can see here, I'm going to choose my size here, but it's interesting to see that here they give a little bit of information, and they clearly say here sizes are true to size. Being an Oxford lace-up, they're only suitable for wearers with a standard height instep. Now I'm a standard height instep, and so I think I can safely round down to the nearest whole size as it recommends here. So although I'm a 7.5, it suggests I should pick a 7. But there's also this little feature here as well. Compare toe shape and last and fit. So I think this is quite a helpful little tool, because not only does it give you the size in European, UK, USA and in centimetres, but it also gives you a profile of the different designs. And so in this here you can see the different layouts and the different widths of the actual shoe upper. And in this case I'm going to go for this one here, the Benson, and you can see it's quite a narrow shoe. But if I had quite a broad foot, then maybe I might be persuaded to go for a different type of shoe. But in this case, with a Benson shoe, we are looking at a Wholecut. We're talking about a normal foot fitting and an instep which is normal. So on this occasion, although they don't have a 7.5, they recommend that I go for a 7 by rounding down to the nearest size. So we'll add that to the basket. And clearly there, Benson Wholecut, Oxford Brown, and we've got one item there. So we'll check out now. And there we have the orders completed and the shoes are on their way. They recommend 3 to 4 days for delivery, and so hopefully they should arrive without any delay and we can do the unveil. So here we are now, we've got the box, it's just arrived, and we're now going to obviously open the top up just to make it a little bit easier for video purposes. But now we'll have a look at what we've actually got in the shoebox. So here we are, as you can see there, Benson, brown, and my size. And if you remember, we actually ordered the shoes a size down, mainly because their website recommended if you're in between sizes, go for the slightly lower size. So we've done that, and now the proof is in the pudding if it actually fits my particular foot size and shape. So let's get on with the unveil. So here's the box, and so this is exciting because it's the first time I've seen them as well. So it's all nicely packaged with a sealed cover. So lovely, nice little card involved, giving some information there, and some other little bits of information, catalogue, just to give you some ideas of their different items that they sell on their website and what's available from that company. There's also an invoice as well for the actual shoes, and then we come to the actual shoes themselves. Now they are individually packaged and they have a cloth bag for protection. So this is the Benson brown Wholecut shoes, and this is the first time I've unveiled them, and what aesthetically from the initial view, stunning, lovely shape to them. And I noticed they're flat waxed laces. Waxed laces does help with any slippage, so you don't have to keep tying your laces up. Aesthetically a lovely shoe, and as you can see there, not a bad shoe at all. Dark brown in colour, but slight burnish on the toe I noticed, just adding that little bit of detail to it. And aesthetically a lovely shoe, and you can definitely see the Italian influence there. So a little bit of packaging in there as well. And what I would say is that initially, just at first glance, what an elegant shoe. And I suppose now really we have to look at it in a little bit more detail to see what we're actually getting for our £260. And I'll just put this to one side, and we'll just talk about this one shoe. So first of all, I'm just going to have a quick look over the shoe and talk about it as I go. Really what I'm looking for is any blemishes or significant marks on the shoe itself, because these stand out. I mean, you might get the odd mark where the polish has been scratched possibly, but in this case they look in really good condition. No snagging on the stitching. There are some details that spring to mind just looking at them. There is a retainer stitch there, which actually, as you can see, they're whole cut. So this is cut from one piece of leather, wrapped around the last, and then the only thing is this last bit on the back just to pull it all together. Now, some whole cuts, it is just literally one piece and this folds over. In this, they've used a separate what you could call a bridging strap that just ties the two halves together and binds them together. I would notice that these are here tapered and skived, so they're rounded, there's no edging there at all, and nice soft leather interior as well on the shoe. And yeah, on the back here there's a suede panel. This is to prevent slippage at the heel, so the shoe doesn't keep slipping off. Yeah, it actually gives it something to purchase on a little bit there. And yes, very elegant shoe. I would say underneath we've got that typical spade cut, which is a very elegant look. Got a gentleman's notch there, so your shoes don't snag on your trousers when you're putting them on. Blake stitched. Now, Blake stitched is quite handy if you wear the shoes down over time. Whilst one or two loops might break, the rest doesn't come undone, and although it is probably not quite the same level as having a Goodyear welted shoe, it is a typical way of actually doing the shoes and to stitch the shoes down. Nice rubber panel here to give you that little bit more protection on the wear points, as well as the rear quarter here is rubberized as well, just to give it a little bit more wear. We've got some brass pins in here to actually put that last part of the leather down. And yeah, you can see there the size, their logo on them as well. And aesthetically, a lovely shoe. The colour would go really well with potentially casual or even office suit wear. And I could see a black pair of these would be the height of formality and go really well in the office. Now, what you can't see with this shoe is that actually there are some stiffeners in here that will protect the shoe from any flexing or damage there, along with a section that comes up here and around to give it a little bit more stiffness and rigidity in the shoe itself. So what I would say is that I think members of the public would like these. If you're looking at buying a pair of Wholecut shoes and you're doing it on a relative budget, I mean, we're not talking about the end of the world sort of money. We're not talking about £500 or £600 a pair, but £260 is still a good price to pay. And I feel that for £260 with this quality of finish, you're actually getting good value for money. The proof is in the actual wearing, and that will be the next part of this review. So Wholecut shoes, I had a pair many moons ago, and they're a really lovely looking shoe. When it comes to Thomas Bird, I would say these are really well made. The construction looks really good and sound. The finish on them is unblemished, which is always a plus. Because they're such a plain shoe, they pick up any little mark or indiscretion when they're in the manufacturing process. So it's nice to see them delivered in a pristine condition, and if you're buying a pair of these, I'm sure you won't be disappointed. They are Blake stitched, which means that they can be repaired and soles replaced if needed, albeit they're not Goodyear welted. It's a slightly different process, but I think you'll find, if you look here, They do look quite Italian in design. They look really good with a suit, and if you buy them in this colour, which is the dark brown, or in a black, I think you'll be pleasantly rewarded by the compliments you're going to get by wearing these shoes. So what we've done now with these brown Benson Wholecut shoes, we've paired that with a navy suit, purple tie, picked up some of those purple hues in the actual pocket square, and really nice aesthetic overall. Paired that with a brown watch, brown strapped watch, to pick up the browns in the shoes. But I've got to say, these shoes are phenomenal. They really do look the part. They're lovely shape and cut to them. They fit really well, and I'm a standard sort of 7.5, so they were quite right in their recommendation of dropping down a half size if you're in between. So it seems to fit really well on my feet, and they look really fantastic with this sort of look. So what I would say about these shoes is they're very comfortable. There's no breaking in required with them. The footbed's got a very soft cushioned effect, and they do really feel good on the feet. And I've got to say, whilst they're made in Italy and they're made on an Italian design, they are a great fitting shoe, and I think it's something that some people might consider adding to their wardrobe. So Thomas Bird shoes, thumbs up, job well done. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, then please feel free to do so. We like constructive comments, so if you'd like to jot them down below, then please feel free to do so. If you have any comments about this particular brand, Thomas Bird, and some observations you'd like to make, then please jot them down. We'd love to hear from you. But until next time, take care.